great run. You're a great run. All of you guys. Oh my God. We did it, we did it.
In Japan last year, Michael Schumacher ended Ferrari's 21 years of agony by becoming their first drivers' champion since Jody Scheckter. This year, his task will be even harder. Häkkinen came close to making it 3 in a row. McLaren won't take defeat lying down, and you can bet the Finn and teammate David Coulthard will make life extremely difficult for the current title holder. The establishment face a dynamic new rival in Juan Pablo Montoya. Can he knock them off the top spot?
It's not about knocking them off or something, you know. You gotta try to do the best you can. You know, if you have a chance, you know, the car is competitive and you're competitive to beat them, you gotta give it a try.
Does the arrival of the former Champ Car title holder and Indy 500 winner put extra pressure on his teammate?
At the end of the day, you always have the pressure to perform good and in the points or in the lead in Formula 1, so it doesn't really matter whether you have what teammate you have. If you're not quick enough, you're out.
Among the other new faces is Finnish youngster Kimi Räikkönen. With only 23 car races behind him, he'll be competing in the first 4 events under the supervision of the FIA. Despite the new challenges, an impending tyre war is the big story. The implications of the battle between Bridgestone and new arrivals Michelin has raised major safety concerns.
It's a permanent battle in mechanical sport. On one side, you have the people in charge of safety of the sport that try to maintain a certain level of speed and adequation between the machines and the tracks. And on the other side, where you have thousands of engineers working 20 hours a day trying to go fast. So it's a permanent balance. It's not new.
All this will make for 17 races of unparalleled action and intrigue. Australia is the perfect place to start the Formula 1 season. It possesses unique scenery and wildlife and a population passionate about sport. The scenic Albert Park circuit always attracts a large and enthusiastic crowd. As they say in Melbourne, it's a great place for a race.
It's really great. Nice to be here in Melbourne.
The atmosphere rubs off on the drivers, even though they're about to start a long, hard season, with plenty of new factors to adjust to. Rule changes have produced radical designs this year, as Benetton Technical Director Mike Gascoigne explains.
Moving the wing up 50 mil makes it much less efficient, so it's very difficult to generate downforce at the front of the car. And also because the wing's working less efficiently, it hurts the rear of the car. So actually what's a very small change in real terms has quite a large impact on the car.
Another new rule reduces the maximum number of elements in the rear wing to 4. However, it's the changes to the front wing that have the teams jealously guarding their designs.
Most people have actually gone fairly similar ways with lowered middle sections of the wing. Some teams have done it in more extreme fashion. In fact, if you look at probably our front wing, it's probably the most extreme. But actually aerodynamically, they're all doing a similar thing, which is generate as much downforce as possible in the middle of the wing by lowering it, because the regulations allow you to do that.
Does Mike Gascoigne look forward to the challenge of taking on top designers Adrian Newey and Rory Byrne?
We're engineers and we're trying to design cars, and it's fun when the regulations change, because in some respects it allows you to be cleverer than the next person. So if you can do something that's better than the other teams do, you'll actually get an advantage from the regulation change. And for me as an engineer, you know, regulation changes sort of make it fun.
The VIPs and celebrities have turned up early. The Duke of Kent and rock band Deep Purple are keen to see all the action. The defending world champion is fast out of the blocks, hoping to stamp his authority as early as Friday practice. Unfortunately, Schumacher's impact at turn 6 is rather more chilling. The FIA's tougher crash tests prove their worth, and the German escapes injury. Nick Heidfeld and Heinz-Harald Frentzen are also caught out, pushing their new cars and tyres to the limit. But what was going through the mind of their not-so-lucky compatriot?
The only thing you think of is what is going to happen now. You're waiting for the big impact, but honestly there wasn't any big impact, and the impact that was there was very well protected by all the facilities we have developed, especially this year. We have this new panel in the cockpit which gives a great deal of safety.
Another safety concern is the effect of the impending tyre war. Lap times are likely to be reduced, but how long will it be before Michelin-shod teams get on terms with their Bridgestone rivals? Mario Tyson gives his views.
Michelin as a new entrant needs a learning season like we had it last year. I'm quite sure they will improve quickly, and if we are among the top 10 today at the first race with Michelin in qualifying, I would be happy and I would be confident for the race.
The first qualifying session will see if everybody's pre-season confidence is well-founded. Surprisingly, McLaren are struggling. Mika Häkkinen and technical director Adrian Newey can't find a good balance for the Finns' car. Third position just won't do for the former champion. His teammate is faring even worse and is only 6th fastest. Their chief rivals are flying. Michael Schumacher shatters last year's pole position time by 4 seconds. His brother's 5th fastest time surpasses the expectations of Mario Tyson. The Williams driver is the leading Michelin runner. As the teams look forward to the first race, the vast army of Australian Formula 1 fans filter into Albert Park on race day, still buzzing over the pace of this year's cars.
I think that what you saw yesterday was what we felt would always happen in a tyre war. I think there's probably 2 seconds of that 4 seconds is linked to technology improvements. When you have 2 manufacturers fighting like hell, it's different when there's just one and it's a controlled tyre. Then you can keep controls on the speed and you know, the grip of the tyres. In this case, all the gloves are off and they are in there fighting like all the teams fight. So you would naturally expect that. On the other side, I was surprised that the engineers, everybody said with the FIA rule changes and the aerodynamic changes, that there should be maybe 10%, 12% decrease in the speeds. In actual fact, the speeds have got even quicker again. And full marks to the engineers. You can't keep these guys down, you know. The problem is we pay for it and they do the job, what they're supposed to do, and the cars go quicker. It's inevitable. It always happens. Cars go quicker because the guys are clever.
We're just seconds away from the race, but it may as well be hours for those concerned. It's a tense time for all, especially the new drivers.
Last cars are lining up now, what?
So when all the cars are in the grid.
Grid sport.
At last, F1 2001 is go. Michael Schumacher streaks away from Häkkinen, the fast-starting Frentzen, Ralf Schumacher and Barrichello. It's three abreast in the midfield as Irvine tangles with Montoya, leaving the Jaguar driver right at the back. Rubens Barrichello fills Ralf Schumacher's mirrors, forcing an error from the Williams driver, making fourth position easy pickings for the Ferrari number 2. The young German pays dearly for that mistake. Trulli takes 5th and Coulthard is also on the prowl. The Scot drives round both of them with ease, a fantastic move. Barrichello is also looking to make up lost ground. Frentzen makes him fight for it, but the Brazilian is just as stubborn. A 50-50 incident, but the Jordan driver doesn't deserve to lose all this time. Villeneuve and Ralf Schumacher battle for 6th. Two uncompromising drivers, one horrific outcome.
Yeah, Ralph was in the middle of the track and I wasn't sure which way he would let me overtake him, on the inside or the outside. And when I finally went for the outside, that's when he hit the brakes and I had no time to move to the outside.
The safety car is brought on while the battered cars are cleared away. A marshal is in need of urgent hospital treatment after being struck by debris from the collision. After 11 laps, the safety car pulls off and the race is back on. Schumacher leads from Häkkinen, Barrichello, Coulthard, Trulli, Olivier Panis and Nick Heidfeld. Further back, the stars of the future fight for 10th position. Kimi Räikkönen displays skills beyond his experience and takes Jenson Button. More woe for Benetton boss Flavio Briatore as Fisichella is demoted to 10th by Räikkönen and drops into the clutches of Frentzen. As ever, there's a whole range of emotions on the pit wall. Häkkinen is in a state of shock after his sudden and violent departure. The Finn had been challenging for the lead. front suspension failure takes care of the former world champion.
The important thing is that he's unhurt, and there's 16 more races to go.
Coulthard does all he can to reverse his team's fortunes, passing Barrichello for second. Heidfeld also makes easy work of Trulli and moves into 5th position. The leader is in for his first stop, while a terminal misfire retires Trulli's Jordan Honda. Montoya's BMW engine makes more of a fuss on its way out, ending the Williams driver's hopes of a successful F1 debut. Both Williams are out of the race, much to the disappointment of BMW Motorsport director Gerhard Berger and the Colombian, who was running in the points. Coulthard pits from the lead, which he hands straight back to Schumacher. The sole surviving McLaren is far enough ahead to emerge in front of third-placed Barrichello. Frentzen is much closer to Heidfeld. Can the Jordan driver cap a great recovery drive and take 5th place? The veteran has a go around the outside of the youngster, but Heidfeld's wise to that move. Peter Sauber's decision to sign young drivers looks better by the lap. Schumacher's race hasn't been as incident-packed, but is just as impressive. The world champion begins his title defence in dominant fashion. That's his 2nd Australian Grand Prix victory and his 5th consecutive win. Schumacher carries on where he left off in 2000. Once again, Ferrari are the class of the field. Olivier Panis was demoted to 7th for overtaking under waved yellow flags. This gives Raikkonen his first championship point.
Unfortunately, we've just been told that the marshal did die, and obviously we're all shocked about this. And we have to look at what is possible from our side, what kind of support we can give, but certainly everybody is very much down for this situation.
The overriding story of the race is, as Michael's just mentioned, the fatality of the marshal, and I think on behalf of all the drivers, our thoughts go to him and to his family. And we need to obviously study how we can improve track safety to these people who give their time for us to enable us to go racing.
There's never much time to regroup during a Formula 1 season, but mindful of the tragic events in Australia, the teams and drivers touch down in Malaysia. The Southeast Asian country has one of the continent's most powerful economies. The population is eager to interact with the rest of the world without losing its own identity. Without doubt, Malaysia's Sepang circuit plays host to the hottest, most grueling event on the Grand Prix calendar. Temperatures close to 40 degrees Celsius and humidity levels of almost 50% make for one of the toughest working environments imaginable. McLaren exercise physiologist Andy Matthews explains how he prepares the drivers for the Malaysian Grand Prix.
What we do is we train them in this heat and humidity
so they're accustomed when they get here. So we've travelled around Australia trying to find the hottest place we could train in, and hopefully we've prepared the guys well enough to cope with it.
What are the effects of working in such extremes?
We sweat, lose fluid to try and cool ourselves. That loss of fluid then has an impact on how well we do our job, how well these guys perform. So what we try and do is put as much fluid into them as possible. We use special drinks, special concoctions, so that fluid is also held in the body as long as possible to get the maximum effect from it.
The cars also need help to survive the heat. Most teams use a variation on the dry ice theme. They also modify the cars to keep the drivers cool.
The car's got a hole, an air vent in there to help keep the driver cool. It's called a donkey dick, actually. It's because it's a long tube that runs along the bottom of the car. We've also got gel pads in the seat to help cool the driver. We've got a cooling balaclava, and there's a couple other little tricks that we use as well to keep the guys cool.
Do all the teams have these cooling devices?
Well, you know, I'm the wrong team for that. It's Williams, and they look after the technical side and usually not after the drivers that way. But maybe for next year we'll see.
I just have a small wing over the top of my helmet to bring a little bit more air inside, and for sure it will be very hard tomorrow. I will have my drink bottle and I will try to save to the end of the race, because for sure I will be, I think, exhausted.
We have only one, I would say 1 liter of liquid available in the race for drinking, but for sure we're going to lose 3 or 4 liters in that race.
The drivers aren't the only ones who feel the heat.
The focus is always the driver, but you know, we also give the mechanics all the backup we can as well. Those guys are working hard, they're head to toe in fireproof equipment, and yeah, we look after them too.
It's not only the heat that has David Coulthard sweating during qualifying. The Scots' best of 8th fastest was put in the shade by the red-hot performance of Ralf Schumacher. The German's provisional pole indicates that Williams is back as a force to be reckoned with. Not that that surprises Frank Williams or Mario Tyson. Ralph's dominance sets up the battle of the Schumachers. Ross Brawn plays it cool as Michael looks to put one over little brother. The sector times look too good for Ralph's liking as the Ferrari approaches the line. He's done it, his 6th consecutive pole, and Rubens Barrichello takes 2nd to make it an all-Ferrari front row. The BMW Williams-Michelin combination is now a legitimate threat to Michael Schumacher winning his 6th consecutive Grand Prix. It's the end of a long, hot day in Malaysia. Conditions are tough here. As the night falls, everybody will be praying for a break in the heat and humidity on race day.
Now clouds seem to be gathering. Have you any news of forecast of rain? It was predicted this morning.
There's a possibility of some sprinkling, but I think very unlikely any sort of thunderstorms or anything. The circumstances, the conditions at the moment aren't conducive to a thunderstorm, so hopefully we'll have a complete dry race.
The cars take their positions on the grid, except for Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who's slowed by a computer hardware problem. Fortunately, Fisichella buys him some time.
Giancarlo, what's going on? Everything is normal, sorry, I made a mistake. You have to start from the back of the grid now. They'll hold you here when everyone else goes off. You'll go around to the back. You follow everyone around on the formation lap and start at the back of the grid.
This is possibly the unfortunate Italian's most embarrassing moment in Formula 1. But he's not the only one in trouble. Engine failure strikes Juan Pablo Montoya.
Uli, can we start this? Say yes or no, or we take the T car. Quickly, Uli, yes or no, can we start it? Repeat, Uli, yes or no, can we start it? No. T car, T car. Get him out of the car, put him in the T car. One, get out of the car, get out of the car, T car.
So much drama has already occurred and the race has just started. Michael Schumacher is away well as his brother hassles Barrichello. Trulli spots a gap on the inside. Barrichello and Schumacher leave no room for each other and the Williams comes off second best. Midfield mayhem ensues. A terrible Grand Prix for Williams. It will take a minor miracle to salvage Ralph's race now.
Okay, go, 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 go!
His teammate rejoins, hoping to redeem something from this race. Back at the front, Schumacher leads from Barrichello, Trulli, Coulthard, the rejuvenated Frentzen and Jos Verstappen. This incident-packed race is only a lap old, and now there's rain to deal with. Traction will be at a premium very shortly. If things weren't slippery enough, oil from Parnas's BAR leads to synchronized offs from Ferrari. Luckily for the Scuderia, they're able to rejoin the race. The heavens have opened and there's panic in the pit lane.
One, safety car, stay out, just try and keep the car on the ground. Change the tyres!
Panic over, but the race is only 5 laps in. McLaren were caught out by the arrival of the safety car and, like most of the field, have changed to full wets. Ferrari opted for intermediates, which could make up for the time lost due to a tyre mix-up. Verstappen is reveling in these atrocious conditions. A light fuel load helps the Arrows pass Frentzen into second. Michael Schumacher is also scything through the field. He muscles his way by his teammate and quickly pounces on 6th place Trulli. Schumacher takes advantage of his intermediates. He quickly disposes of Verstappen and moves up to second. Schumacher looks unstoppable at the moment. The inevitable happens and Coulthard is forced to concede the lead. All that extra traction gifts Barrichello second place, vindicating Ferrari's tyre choice. Frank Williams and Patrick Head look on as Ralf Schumacher and Frentzen squabble over fourth position. The Jordan has the inside line but outbrakes himself. Schumacher takes advantage, but Frentzen isn't phased and outmaneuvers his compatriot. When it comes to slick passing moves, few can beat Michael Schumacher. An inspired tyre choice also helps him to earn his 6th consecutive Grand Prix win.
Okay, Michael, well done. I'm sorry about the drama. Oh, thank you. I should have had a cup of coffee while I was waiting there, but anyway, boys, well done, great ride.
His brother made a great recovery to finish 5th ahead of Mika Häkkinen. One of the most exciting races ever was dominated by Ferrari. Coulthard collects valuable World Championship points, while Frentzen helps Jordan to 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. Did the world champion think his race was over in the early stages?
Yes, there was a moment I was thinking I'm going to hit the wall when I went off in turn 6, and I was all thinking now it's gone and it's finished. And I was very lucky to get it back and turn it before the wall, then even come to the pits and then win a race, because I thought my car at least must have damaged the front wing or something as I was bouncing over the gravel. But I mean, thanks to the guys building such a robust car.
Ferrari got the jump on the field in Malaysia by choosing intermediate tyres rather than full wets. Rubens Barrichello explains the decision-making process that blew away the opposition.
Well, basically, Ross is the guy behind every act, but it's on the tires is something that he cannot feel the track. So when it's raining, it's only the driver that could analyze the track and get a feel. So he's always the call is always on the drivers. In the morning, I had run both tires, and I saw the situation. I saw that because it was raining so much that the pace car could come out. So I gave it a shot to the intermediates. Same thing happened to Michael, and it was really good.
Hot on the heels of that dominant display, Rubinho returns home.
Bem-vindo, benvenuti, welcome to São Paulo, Brazil.
Time for the boys from Brazil to get into the picture.
São Paulo is a great city.
It's my home city. I love to be here. It's one of the biggest cities in the world, so you can have options for everything.
The Brazilian people love Formula 1, you know, we have a huge crowd here.
I miss so much São Paulo that I don't care if I'm in the middle of the traffic in São Paulo. I would rather be there than be in another place.
I know how works the Brazilian traffic, you know. You have to speed a little bit, and I'm Brazilian, so I know the place.
I guess the race starts when you leave the hotel.
Sao Paulo's Interlagos circuit is a world-renowned car breaker. Last year, the bumpy surface caused Sauber to withdraw from the race after both cars suffered rear wing failure.
we know that this is very unforgiving. You can see all the sparks flying out of the car, and the car is travelling at a higher level of ride height than normally it would do. And for those who are involved in understanding that, of course, there's a huge difference, A, in speed, and also the veracity of the damage that it can cause during a race. In other words, a constant pounding. So the only alternative, certainly for the race, is to raise the car, and you suffer speed as a result of that.
Despite areas of the track being resurfaced, the whole complex is far from ready, only days before the action starts.
I think they did a good job on the track, and the track's much less bumpy, and they improved quite a lot. The organization still had to improve a bit, but I think they're getting there.
Brazil is such a great place. It deserves to be a race here, but they really could do with doing something with the track in terms of knocking the place down and starting again if they can.
All aspirations to become a circuit designer were quickly forgotten, as out came the dancing girls for Eddie Jordan's 53rd birthday. Brazilian football legend Pelé tries a Prost out for size. However, the fun's now over. It's time to get down to the serious business of qualifying. This session proved especially tense for BMW Williams.
I think we felt we had the potential to be on the front row and maybe on the best side of the front row, and Juan had obviously been very quick in the morning, so it was obviously a bit disappointing to see him caught out at turn 11 on his first flying lap. And I gather I jumped up and down a bit and it was caught on camera, but anyway, he did a very good recovery job when he came back and got into the T car. And I think Ralph felt that it would have been possible to at least match his brother's time. Anyway, second and fourth for us at the moment is pretty good, and we're not complaining.
Neither are the Schumachers, who become the first brothers to share a Formula 1 front row. While the rest of the world is preoccupied with the Schumacher brothers, the Brazilians motivate their man. But even this much support can't get rid of Barrichello's Interlagos jinx. His Ferrari lets him down on the installation lap minutes before the start. Just getting on the grid will be a victory in itself.
We have 3 minutes. The T car is for Michael and Rubens use a different setup in the car.
It's a big job. Pedals, seat, belts, the whole thing, because Rubens brakes with his right foot, and Michael with his left, so it's a lot.
Rubinho's disciples breathe a sigh of relief. His mechanics have worked a minor miracle. He can now take up his 6th place on the grid.
So much going on. Even Michael's mechanics were there on my car on the grid. I was just sweating so much. To be honest with you, I had 5% of time to think that I could do well. All I cared at that time was to get ready for me to start.
Häkkinen's stall causes chaos behind as the world champion gets the jump on the field. Ralf Schumacher loses out to Montoya, Coulthard and Trulli. Häkkinen retires for the second time. The safety car is deployed to buy them some time, something that Häkkinen has plenty of, thanks to a hydraulic failure. After just one lap, the safety car pulls in and Schumacher tries to pull away again. Montoya's engine has the power and the Colombian has the courage to dive down the inside, forcing the Ferrari wide and into the path of Coulthard. The Williams pit crew bask in the glory of their new star. But their established talent isn't so lucky. That's the third consecutive collision for Ralf Schumacher and Barrichello's 8th retirement in 9 Brazilian Grand Prix.
Ralf was trying to overtake someone on the inside, and then he just changed the line completely and braked. And now I wasn't expecting someone to come from the other side of the track to the right and brake.
Back at the front, Montoya is living up to his pre-season hype, resisting immense pressure from Schumacher. The former F3000 and Champ Car title holder has the power advantage and the skills to keep the best in the business behind him. Ralf Schumacher should have been showcasing his talent, a front row slot wasted. In comes Michael Schumacher from second place for his first of 2 scheduled stops. This strategy should have seen the German well ahead of his one-stopping rivals. Schumacher's stop promotes Coulthard to second. Clouds gather over Interlagos. Any rain will throw strategies out the window and jeopardize the chances of 6th place Nick Heidfeld getting in the points for Sauber. Montoya has done nothing to compromise his prospects of victory, and he's now lapping the back markers such as Jos Verstappen.
What happened? I don't know, he moved to the left to let me by, and I guess on the braking he just got behind me and couldn't stop the car.
He braked very early, and that was it. I couldn't avoid him anymore, and I'm really sorry to him because I heard he was leading the race.
This leaves Coulthard in front. He's already stopped, but it's starting to rain. Advantage Schumacher. Panic stations in the BAR pit as conditions get worse. David Coulthard opts not to go into the pits, as Schumacher is in for intermediates and setup adjustments. Have Ferrari won the tactical battle again? Parnis looked good for a podium finish, but queuing behind his teammate has cost him. Coulthard is finally in for his intermediates. His setup was chosen with wet conditions in mind, but is it too late to take advantage? Fortunately for the Scot, Schumacher's legendary wet weather ability deserts him. Does the Rain Master have the wrong setup? The world champion's mistake allows Coulthard to close. He has the inside line and cleverly uses Marquez's Minardi to snatch the lead. That superb move gets an official seal of approval.
I think that was a fantastic move and one of the best ones I ever saw. What I do not understand is the performance of Michael right now. I mean, how can he be 5 seconds quicker in Malaysia and now not? I mean, but let's wait and see. Now he's in the gravel.
More handling woes for Schumacher. A 7th consecutive win is out of the question. His brother isn't faring much better. A spin ends his extended test session. Trulli's also in trouble. A questionable switch to wet tyres lets Heidfeld into fourth. Eddie Jordan's spirits sink further when Frenzen's clutch costs the German third place. Heidfeld's up to third, and Panis rubs salt into the wound and takes fourth, making up for BAR's pit stop problems. David Coulthard will be anything but down as he approaches the finish to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Not Ralf Schumacher's idea of a good drive-in movie. Coulthard takes his first win of the season and ends Ferrari's domination of Formula 1. Peter Sauber's team defies its critics as Nick Heidfeld claims his first podium finish. A good setup helped, but David Coulthard's 10th victory was perhaps his most impressive ever.
We had a good strategy. We took a good gamble on what to do with the setup for the wet conditions, and I'm just really pleased for the whole team that we can for once show that we can work the strategies, we can make the right decisions on tyres and these sort of issues, because I feel that we get criticised quite often because when we've been the best car, if you don't win, then people think that you're doing a bad job, where in reality you can see we are hungry and we can achieve the goal.
The Scot cuts Schumacher's lead to 6 points, and Panis has made up for his Australian penalty. Heidfeld's great drive moves Sauber up to third in the Constructors' Championship, but the top two remain the same. 39 Grand Prix have passed since the Swiss team's last podium finish, but Coulthard claimed the ultimate prize.
Great drive. It was good, very good.
There will be the time when our winning time is over, where we have to suffer maybe for a while. I hope the while is a short while, and we continue winning in Imola.
After the excitement of Brazil, the teams take the long flight over the Atlantic Ocean into Europe, the heart of the Formula 1 World Championship. The first of the 11 European rounds is the San Marino Grand Prix at the Imola circuit, situated in the Romagna region of northeast Italy. Italians have a strong sense of tradition, and their love of good food, wine and fashion is matched only by their passion for motorsport. The start of the European season sees the return of the motorhomes. These palaces on wheels are immediately put to the test at Imola as they try to park in one of the smallest paddocks on the Grand Prix circuit. The drivers have handled that task with their usual precision, and now it's time to turn these mobile mansions over to the managers and VIPs.
This is our new motorhome. We have it specially for the European race. It's quite exciting, lots of nice things to see. Do you want to come and take a look? This is where we do all our corporate hospitality, entertaining the media and sponsors. Come and join us here for lunch and dinner. The really exciting stuff, however, is indoors. Come and have a look. Here we have the offices for marketing and PR. This is where we write all the press releases and the communications information for the media. Now we're getting to the really good bit. This is the office of Eddie Jordan. finally we come to the room of one of our major sponsors, Deutsche Post, where they can come and enjoy watching the race. So I wonder where Eddie Jordan's been hiding. Here he is. We found him in the back of the bus having a bit of physiotherapy in the driver's massage room.
Jarno Trulli is as chilled as his boss during qualifying, just as well as a drying track tests the patience of the drivers. There's only seconds to go before the end of the session. Barely enough time for the Italian to grab provisional second position behind Häkkinen. The big guns have also left it late. Coulthard saves his best till last. Michael Schumacher also needs to pull out a last gasp hot lap. But the world champion just can't match Coulthard's pace. Mika Häkkinen ensures an all-McLaren front row. And Michael's own brother rubs salt into the wound, dropping him to 4th. Test driver Alex Wirtz shares in the joy of beating Ferrari on their own doorstep. Schumacher's pole streak ends, courtesy of the Scot.
We had some problems in the morning session which took a while to get the car sorted for the start of the session. And anyway, the guys worked very hard. They were up until 4 o'clock last night, so building another car, and I think they've done a great job, so it's a surprise, but delighted to get the pole position. And I'm putting it down to the glasses, because I saw Mika wearing his blue ones last week, so I thought I had to go for orange this week.
Never mind blue or orange, the McLaren boys' mood is distinctly rose-tinted. But will they be that way after the race? Coulthard gets plenty of wheel spin, opening the door for Ralf Schumacher, who uses all of the track to take the lead, as Trulli goes up the inside of Häkkinen for 3rd. Can the Williams stay in one piece and give Ralf his first Grand Prix win? It's been a long time since a Williams won a Grand Prix, but Imola's lack of overtaking opportunities will give them a good shot. A gear change glitch hinders Michael's chances of victory, dropping him to 7th. Even Ross Brawn will struggle to help Ferrari's #1 as he comes under threat from his teammate. The German's loss of momentum makes him an easy target. Barrichello quickly lines up Parnis. The Brazilian breaks that little bit later and takes 6th at Rivazza, leaving Parnis to fight off the recovering Schumacher. Trulli is proving more resolute in 3rd, but the Jordan driver is definitely holding up Häkkinen. Rookie exuberance is even more of a hindrance to Minardi's Fernando Alonso. A loose steering wheel achieves similar results for Kimi Räikkönen. More problems for Schumacher. A left front puncher compounds his dreadful weekend.
The result was a puncture, but there was something else wrong. I don't know what, which destroyed the rim, and that was the reason for the puncture. Out of precaution, Ross told me to stop, and I was quite happy because I saw the brake was a bit damaged, and you never know what can be the consequence, and here you need the brakes a lot.
Jarno Trulli has done well to stay in 3rd, but this early pit stop will undo his hard work. It's Montoya's turn in the pits. Can he get out ahead of Trulli? It's very close, but Trulli's fast outlaps give him the edge. The Williams team look on as their Colombian prodigy muscles his way into 6th at Tamburello. A great move. The mechanics will also have a say in the fight for third. Häkkinen is in first, but this is a golden opportunity for Ferrari and Barrichello. Can Ferrari gain revenge on McLaren for the loss of pole? It's another triumph for the prancing horse. But at least Häkkinen will get another chance. Unlike Gaston Mazzacane. Poor performances have put his drive with Prost in grave danger, and engine failure won't help. Villeneuve's exit is much more spectacular.
It's been a very difficult start of the season. It's been a bad qualifying yesterday. And we worked hard to get up to 6th, and to have a mechanical failure, I'm not sure if it's engine or a gearbox, it was very frustrating.
Frustration doesn't even begin to describe how Montoya's feeling right now, as a clutch problem makes his pit stop last for an eternity. He manages to rejoin the race, but for how long?
The engine died. Something's happened. Have a look.
Did you copy that? He's saying the engine died. I'm assuming out of the last couple of corners. I don't know if you can see anything.
Yeah, we heard it, Tim, but it's pretty bad telemetry coverage, so we'll have to look at the download.
You know, so it seems that every race something breaks, and this time, you know, like 5 laps before the pit stop, I got an alarm of the clutch and came to the pit, and I couldn't engage any more gears or anything.
Montoya's woes are temporarily forgotten as the Williams team prepare to greet the man who will end their 4-year victory drought and win his first Grand Prix.
Yeah! Well done, Ralph. Well done.
Well done, everybody. At last.
It's also been an historic race for BMW. Gerhard Berger celebrates their first win since his victory in Mexico 15 years ago. Coulthard's 6 points put him level with Michael Schumacher in the Drivers' Championship, while Barrichello consolidates 3rd position in the title race. Michael Schumacher is the first to congratulate his brother, who's also a big hit with his boss.
Everyone deserves this. They've all worked hard as everybody else does. And Ralph triumphed magnificently today. He had it well under control all of the time.
Nearly the same as last year, remember?
At the start? Yeah, but I moved when I saw you, yeah.
I don't begrudge them the race win at all. It's, you know, they're going to win some more races, but whether they can catch us in the championship remains to be seen.
It won't be too long before Karina Schumacher will be celebrating a family 1-2.
It's a bit of a shame. I would have liked Michael next to me, but it didn't work out today. Maybe another time.
Michelin also shared the glory, just 4 races after their return to Formula 1.
On one way, it's absolutely unexpected. On the other way, we had all elements from the BMW, from Williams, to put everything together. But the trick is to put anything together. And thanks to Ralph, thanks to everybody, finally we did it, which is great, absolutely.
After the disappointment of Imola, the Ferrari team leave their home circuit to start leg 2 of the long European Tour. Round 5 sees the teams arrive in the Mediterranean splendor of Spain. Dynamic, modern, but with a respect for the past, Barcelona has something for everyone. The Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya will be a significant race for several reasons. Spain's own Pedro de la Rosa will debut for Jaguar, forcing their former number 2, Luciano Berti, to find sanctuary at Prost, pushing out Mazzacane. However, the big story is the return of traction control for the first time since 1993. Just how does this device benefit the drivers?
Basically, it makes it easier for the driver to get the maximum drive potential out of the tyres. So in the past, he would have to approach the limit gradually, perhaps leaving a little bit of a margin. And then if track conditions meant that he overstepped that maximum, he would get excessive wheel spin. And when you get wheel spin, you lose drive force as well as losing cornering force. So traction control allows the driver to go right the way to the limit without any fear of overstepping it.
Traction control has been reintroduced to ensure technical equality between the teams. Its return has been met with mixed views.
It was very necessary to liberalize the system because it's not good for the image of Formula 1 that you can say that somebody could cheat, and even if nobody were cheating, but they were using maybe the rules in a different way, and at this point it's very good.
On the other hand, probably it's not nice for a Formula 1 driver because now we got a lot of help from the electronic system, as anti-spin, as automatic start.
You know, the best driver, the best car, the best team is always they're always going to use this system as an advantage. A bad driver can use a lot of traction control to help himself to be confident, but he's going to be slow. And a good driver can use that as a different tool, and he could use that for his own performance and performance of the car.
But which teams will hit the ground running?
Definitely some engineering community will be in advance compared to others, and we don't know yet if Ferrari, McLaren, BMW or Renault or anybody who will be the most advanced.
You don't normally associate Minardi with technical advancement, but Fernando Alonso lines up 18th ahead of both Benettons. Happier times for the Flying Finn, who qualifies second behind Michael Schumacher. Was he helped by the new system?
Yeah, like I said, I disconnected the traction control in the end, so it helped me a little bit in some problems where I had some understeer, so it was good, but generally, yeah, it was a big push.
On reflection, Häkkinen tried to clarify his earlier comments.
But to switch it off completely is maybe not exactly 100%.
Less.
It's not only, that's not either the right one.
It's the last chance for the mechanics to work on the cars, as they're joined by a choice selection of guests. Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones and football ace Patrick Kluivert are on hand to witness this milestone race. It's unlikely that King Juan Carlos is discussing launch control with Häkkinen.
I don't think it's actually going to go well for the whole grid, but hopefully we've worked hard enough to eliminate our own problems, but I think it's a better way to go.
Ron Dennis may quickly change his mind as Coulthard stalls on the grid. Faulty launch control and the rules ensure that third on the grid becomes 22nd and last. Ron Dennis realizes there's still plenty of work to be done as Coulthard prepares for a long day at the office. The other systems work well, apart from those on Frenson's Jordan. Luckily for the German, it's just a temporary blip. Michael Schumacher leads from Häkkinen. Ralf Schumacher defends third from Barrichello and Trulli, as Montoya is up to 6th from 12th on the grid. Ralf Schumacher's defences are quickly broken down by Barrichello, who takes third. There's little room for manoeuvre at the back, especially for the impatient Coulthard. His team have a new nose ready, but once again the Scot will be relegated to last place. At the front, Michael Schumacher leads from Häkkinen, Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher. Fisichella leads the battle for 15th as Frentzen gets a wheel on the grass and spins into De La Rosa. A disastrous outcome for all concerned. Patrick Head keeps his eyes glued to the timing pages, but Ralf Schumacher can't achieve that sort of adhesion on the track and spins out of 4th. Ralph's teammate shows how it should be done in pursuit of new 4th-place man Trulli. The Colombian's pit crew prepare for his first stop. This will temporarily end his chase. But the Italian is coming in at the same time, setting up a Williams-Jordan battle of the mechanics. Will Montoya's advance up the order be continued in the pit lane, or will Jordan ensure that it ends here? It's touch and go, but Williams are victorious. The chase is on to catch Villeneuve, who has yet to stop.
You're watching Villeneuve's lap times, you're watching the gap to Villeneuve. Really, if the gap stays the same and Villeneuve comes in, we have to respond, I think, otherwise he's going to get us.
Will the BAR pit crew fulfill Jordan's worst-case scenario? Villeneuve loses out to Montoya, but still moves up to 5th at the expense of Trulli. Good work from BAR, but team principal Craig Pollock isn't celebrating just yet. Michael Schumacher looks to have his race well under control. He still leads Häkkinen after their first stops. His teammate is holding down a solid 3rd, until mechanical problems intervene. The Brazilian rejoins, but is his Ferrari badly damaged? Unfortunately for the Spanish Tifosi, the answer is yes. Rear suspension failure ends Barrichello's race. The world champion makes his second and final stop. This will drop him to 2nd behind Häkkinen. The ball is now in McLaren's court. The Finn has put in some blistering lap times. Now his mechanics have to do their bit. Whoever's ahead at the first corner will surely win this race. It looks as though Mika Häkkinen will end his 8-race victory drought. His wife Aya and the rest of the team are already in party mood, whilst Coulthard storms up to 7th, and he's not finished yet. The Scots on the outside of Heidfeld-Sauber. He moves to lap Fisichella and still manages to take 6th and move into the points. The world champion is over a minute ahead of Montoya, but too far behind to threaten the Finn during the last lap. But it's all gone dreadfully wrong for Häkkinen. Clutch failure slows him to a crawl and stuns everybody in the McLaren garage. Schumacher can hardly believe his luck as he drives past the grounded Silver Arrow. You have to feel for the Finn, this is a horrible way to lose a race. The Ferrari #1 didn't really earn this win, but they all count. The usual Schumacher celebration is conspicuous by its absence. Juan Pablo Montoya crosses the line in 2nd, to the great relief of his fans and his team. Coulthard's impressive recovery drive brought him to 5th, but that's little consolation for the team who were robbed of certain victory. Although obscured by Häkkinen's rotten luck, this is a race of firsts. Jacques Villeneuve earns BAR's first ever podium finish, and Montoya also takes his first taste of F1 champagne. A race finish at last for the talented Colombian.
First 4 races have been very hard for me. We've been some competitive and some not so much. Here, I wasn't expecting to be in the podium really.
I started 11th, and the start was really good and moved me a lot of places up, and then just kept pushing all day long.
The team did a great job in the pit stops, and that allowed us to jump truly in the first pit stop, and then we just hang in there.
Mika has really done everything right, and then something like this, 5 corners or whatever to go to the end, it's shocking. I went to see him because it's not the way you like to win a race, honestly, but then sometimes it happens. I mean, in racing it has happened to me, and it has happened now to Mika.
It wasn't just the end of the race that caused headaches for McLaren. In Spain, Coulthard made his second bad start, hampered rather than helped by the new driver aids.
After the MLS start, where we got a lot of wheel spin, I thought, well, at least we won't have that problem at all again with the traction control. The problem in Barcelona was that we had a software glitch, in that the car, as you start the car on the grid, before you go to your green flag lap, then because we'd never done that in practice, we'd always started the car, driven out of the garage, gone to the end of the pit lane and done a start. The car had actually recognised wheel speed. So if you imagine on the grid starting it and going straight into a launch control, the software tells the car, well, you must still be in the garage. So as a safety mechanism, it switched off the engine. The software's been changed. It took 5 minutes for them to rewrite the code, so that'll never happen again.
Apart from the technical aspects, what does the Scot have to do to maintain pressure on the world champion?
We have to be going for victories. We still need to improve the car. We're not getting as much out of it as Ferrari are in qualifying, and that's the key area.
The Spanish Grand Prix saw the return of the Flying Finn. Will his luck change in Austria? Mountains cover 2/3 of this country, best known for its famous ski resorts. Its lakes also provide breathtaking scenery. The capital city, Vienna, is a living museum, rich with priceless art treasures. Austria has also produced motorsport legends such as Jochen Rindt and Niki Lauda. To the southwest of Vienna, and situated in the heart of the Styrian region, is Austria's Grand Prix circuit, the A1 Ring. Minardi arrived under a cloud due to the loss of a key team member.
Gustav Brunner, your technical director, has left the team. When did you find out that he was going off to Toyota?
Bank holiday Monday. I walked in and accidentally picked up a fax on the general fax machine, a one-pager that said, "Sorry, I have no good news. I've left and joined Toyota." He's in breach of contract and will be pursuing it through the courts vigorously.
A few garages down, Sauber's Nick Heidfeld celebrates his 24th birthday. In Brazil, he earned his first podium finish. Is he surprised by the team's great start to the season?
In the beginning of the season, I tried to be in the points. That worked out immediately. And then my next goal was to be on the podium, but I didn't think that it would work out this season.
Raikkonen has been just as impressive. What are Heidfeld's views on his teammate?
Yeah, I think he coped with the pressure very, very well, especially in the beginning of the season, didn't do any mistakes. He showed that he was quick already in testing, I've seen that, so I was not surprised by the results and by the pace he has set so far.
Does the young Finn feel he's surprised his peers?
Yeah, maybe, but in the end, it's more important for me that the season starts well and I did some good races.
Sauber's sustained form gives the team an opportunity to break the 100-point barrier after 8 years of competition. Can they do it so close to home?
Well, I think it would be very nice for the team to get 100 points, but we don't really say, oh, no, it's even more important to get the points than it is on other races. We try to do our best, we try to beat each other and try to go on the points, that's it.
David Coulthard won't be tasting champagne after qualifying, confirming his earlier fears. Going in the wrong direction on setup leaves Coulthard and Häkkinen 7th and 8th. Conversely, it's 5 poles out of 6 for Michael Schumacher, who's joined on the front row by Juan Pablo Montoya. Is the Colombian confident of repeating his good start in Spain?
I think starting 12 to 6, it was a great start. I think from there to now, I think everybody got the system more prepare. I think our system is even better than last time. So tomorrow we could have a pretty good start, I think.
Whoever leads after the first corner will be hoping not to encounter the local wildlife, as Montoya did earlier in the day.
One in this lap, please, in this lap. We've seen a deer on the circuit. We believe it's somewhere on the circuit, so just come in cautiously, please. Oh, deer. Yeah, deer. Like a horse with horse. I know. Oh, dear.
The peace and tranquility of the Styrian region will be shattered on Sunday afternoon. From 2 o'clock, they'll echo to the sound of super-powerful V10 Formula 1 engines. The mechanics leave the grid, hopeful their launch control systems are fully sorted this time.
I have a gearbox problem. No, the engine. What is the problem? Gearbox is broken.
The Williams drivers leave the mayhem and Michael Schumacher behind, with Juan Pablo Montoya leading the charge. Frenson's gearbox is jammed, but for Trulli, Häkkinen and Heidfeld, launch control is a contradiction in terms.
We're fired up and getting out of here down the pit lane. They got any telemetry data out this gearbox.
Frenson's cause is lost and all the data in the world won't save Häkkinen's race now. Like Heidfeld, Trulli is able to rejoin, but ignoring a red light will cost him. Irvine's possession of 6 may be just temporary, as Verstappen is set to pounce. The leaders round the tight Remus curve as the arrow's light fuel load lets it blast by the Jaguar. Will team boss Tom Walkinshaw reap the benefits of a 2-stop strategy? It certainly looks that way. The Dutchman lines up 5th place Coulthard. As in Malaysia, the Asiatech-powered car looks most impressive, adopting the low fuel approach. Trulli's tactics are about to catch up with him.
Bring him in and retire him, Gary. Really, they've disqualified him. He left the pit lane with the red light on.
The Italian's disqualification rounds off a terrible weekend for the Jordan team. Montoya is untroubled up front, unlike his teammate who's holding up the Ferraris.
I got a brake pedal problem quite long. Could you check out why? Everything looks okay here. You're 54% brake power.
Evidently, that's not enough to keep him on the road or do much for his relationship with the team. Ferrari pick up the pieces while Ralph vents his anger.
Everything is okay. Okay. Thanks, guys. Coming into the pit.
An understandably apprehensive pit crew wait for Ralph's arrival to carry out an immediate post-mortem on the failed rear brake. The investigations will probably last longer than Ralph's race. Jacques Villeneuve has 9th place in his sights as he powers up to Irvine. He tries a spot of rallycross, but only succeeds in dropping himself down the order. As forecast by Michelin, their tyres go through a lean spell, forcing Montoya into the grasp of the Ferraris. Are his defences up to the task, or will he be easy prey? Montoya fights off the attentions of Schumacher, but then sacrifices his race. Ross Brawn's annoyed, but at least there's a Ferrari at the front now. Barrichello leads from Verstappen, who will surely have to pit in soon. There seems to be no stopping Raikkonen this season, who's running an impressive fourth behind Coulthard. The Arrows driver makes the first of 2 stops. Can the Dutchman slice through the field once again? Schumacher begins his fight back. 4th placed Olivier Panis is his first victim. Raikkonen is next in line and decides not to get in the way. In contrast, Montoya's recovery is short-lived.
We lost hydraulic pressure, I think, and lost gears and throttle and everything.
Reliability is definitely Williams' Achilles heel. Schumacher has his sights set on the lead. A quick stop will help. Coulthard hits the front as Barrichello also makes his first and only stop. The German looks odds-on to move up, but ragged driving won't help his cause. David Coulthard has been able to stay out longer, and that could be the key to keeping the lead. Barrichello rounds the final corner as Coulthard exits. Have McLaren done enough? Schumacher looks set to give valuable championship points away to the Scot unless Barrichello gets ahead. It's another nail-biter for the big 2 as the leaders approach the first corner. The crowd's reaction tells the story. The world champion has his work cut out for him now. However, Schumacher's championship challenge is always at the top of Ferrari's agenda. Sporting director Jean Todt has a tough decision to make.
Rubens, it's last lap. Let Michael pass for the championship. Let Michael pass for the championship, Rubens, please.
Barrichello lets his teammate by at the last possible moment. Ron Dennis and the McLaren chief celebrate Coulthard's victory on the day team orders ruled at Ferrari.
Hai fatto una gara fantastica, Rubens. Grazie. Hai fatto il gioco della squadra.
Almost hidden by the controversy was Kimi Raikkonen's mature drive to 4th place, ahead of Verstappen, who claims Arrow's first point of the season. Coulthard was less inclined to celebrate due to the death on Saturday of Paul Morgan, the co-founder of Ilmor Engineering, the company that built Mercedes engines for McLaren.
From where I was in the grid, obviously having qualified 7th, it was important to start heavy and just to have the options open depending on how the race went. I was able to lean the engine out early on after the first few laps and save quite a few laps of fuel, as well as obviously with the safety car, and that enabled us to go quite long.
Coulthard's second win of the season puts him to within 4 points of Michael Schumacher, but it could have easily been 2. Ferrari are running away with the Constructors' Championship, while Raikkonen took Sauber past the 100-point barrier. Austria saw relations between Barrichello and the Ferrari team reach rock bottom, whilst Coulthard's stock rose within McLaren following his 10th victory for the English team. The Scot basked in the glory of victory, while Barrichello was bitter over the loss of 2nd place.
Rubens.
Va bene, io non dico niente. Rubens, you were 2nd until the last corner, and then you pulled over to let Michael through. Why was that?
The team has asked me to do that.
Rubens, it's last lap. Let Michael pass for the championship. Let Michael pass for the championship, Rubens, please.
Rubens eventually followed team orders. But what was the view of a former world champion?
I guess there was no choice. You know it from the beginning when you sign your contract, and that's when you make your decision. Yeah, if you accept it when you sign your contract, then you don't have a leg to stand on later. So I don't see anything wrong with it.
That's fair enough, because I said when I first came into here, before I came, that I was quite prepared to drive for Ferrari, which would be a dream.
If it wasn't written on my contract that I had to let him by, but if it was written that I had to follow instructions, then I would agree.
The drivers now make a beeline to the nearby military airbase to board their private jets, the only way to travel to the millionaire's paradise that is Monte Carlo.
Ciao. Piacere, piacere.
Most of Jean Alesi's peers live in the Principality of Monaco, the venue for the next Grand Prix. Do the Jordan drivers treat their home race any differently?
I feel home, I am home, so it's a more relaxing Grand Prix.
I have to say I'm not really jealous about the other people having a good time here, but later, when I'm getting in the age, then maybe I will appreciate as well the lifetime at night, but at the moment I don't care.
Rubens Barrichello chooses to spend his free time on the fairways with Brazilian soccer superstar Ronaldo. Will the Ferrari star win a golf trophy to go alongside his motor racing honours?
I hope not in golf, but I hope with the Formula 1. I think it's been a wonderful day here in the golf course, and it was a pleasure to play with Ronaldo. We have a lot of fun. Sometimes we miss the ball, and it's just a good laugh.
While the greens are the perfect place to relax for Barrichello, the Benetton boys choose to cruise around the harbour.
Must be £10 million. I live over the east coast of Monaco, the east side of Monaco, and it's very quiet normally. But I mean, it's so busy now, isn't it? But it's good. I like this Grand Prix. It is a very busy Grand Prix for the drivers and the sponsors and everything, but it's also quite relaxing in the evenings. It's nice.
It's the most important Grand Prix in Formula 1. And when you get on the podium, it's a little bit better for you to get on the podium here than the other circuit.
Yeah, have you been on it here?
The Monaco street circuit presents plenty of challenges for the teams. Cramped conditions in the pit lane are just the tip of the iceberg.
I think it's harder for the team and the mechanics, and you know they have to push the car up to the garages and down, and if they want to go on a weight bridge, and you know they have to go down again, and so it's very hard work for them. As well, we have to walk a lot and always with a lot of people around you, and it makes it harder, yes.
Pit stops are especially dangerous.
Of course, it's very small, and you have to be careful that you don't hit somebody. But I mean, the speed here is 60 kilometers, so normally everything should go all right.
It was far from all right for Arrows and Jordan during the first session, as both teams tried to introduce innovative downforce aids for the tight, twisty street circuit. The FIA moved quickly to ban the devices due to concerns about their structural integrity. On Saturday, all eyes were on David Coulthard, who put to rest his early season fears about his team's qualifying pace. The Scot took pole, while Michael Schumacher lines up second, setting up another intense struggle between the championship front-runners. As always, the Monaco Grand Prix is a mecca for the beautiful people. To reinforce the pomp and circumstance, Prince Albert takes a drive around the legendary circuit. Michael Schumacher will find it tough to get ahead of his main rival on a circuit where pole position is most sought after. However, the best laid plans fall apart instantly if your launch control lets you down. For the second time this season, Coulthard is forced to the back of the grid. However, if he doesn't get there before the medical car, he'll have to start from the pit lane. The Scots' race effectively starts on the warm-up lap. He's made it. Now there's just the matter of the 20 cars between himself and Schumacher. The new poleman is away well. Barrichello tucks in behind Hakkinen. Ralf Schumacher fights off Irvine to stay fourth, and the Ulsterman now has Montoya to deal with. Thankfully, everybody has got through the first few corners safely, but the Grand Hotel hairpin is the acid test. There's little room for manoeuvre around here, and it doesn't get any easier further on. Nick Heidfeld is the Armco's latest victim. Another former F3000 champion is running fifth. But Montoya is yet another rookie to succumb to the magnetic attraction of the Monaco barriers. The Colombian won't be looking forward to his early post-race debrief. Near the back, Coulthard is up to 18th, behind both arrows. Bernaldi lets Verstappen through, but isn't so gracious to Coulthard. The Scot can't afford to stay there for too long. No such hassles for Schumacher, who's away and clear. The world champion has been pressurised by Hakkinen, but a front suspension problem handicaps the luckless Finn. Hakkinen lets Barrichello through into second. Adrian Newey and Ron Dennis find it hard to deal with another Hakkinen retirement. He's only scored 4 points so far this season. Pedro de la Rosa also had a short afternoon.
Coming to the back, I lost the gears and the throttle. I guess it's a hydraulic problem. I'm not sure. And that was the end of a shitty Grand Prix for me.
Schumacher may give Coulthard a chance to avoid that fate.
Ignore the blue flags, ignore the blue flags, but keep pushing, keep pushing. Next man is the leader, next man is the leader. Leader right behind. Don't lose a place to Coulthard.
Although it's very frustrating for the Scot, Bernaldi follows his team's orders to the letter. A podium finish looks more remote by the lap. That won't stop Coulthard trying, though. Trulli is also putting maximum effort into his defence of 5th place, but it's all for naught. Not the sort of seaside barbecue Eddie Jordan likes. Coulthard's temper may also be ready to boil over. Can he use Irvine to finally pass Bernaldi? Yet again, the Brazilian frustrates the Scot.
I was calling to the team to have him disqualified for having a bad dress sense and a dodgy haircut, because I couldn't think of anything else.
Villeneuve will be far more content as he looks on course to pick up more points. Fisichella could score his first of the season. Flavio Briatore is understandably tense as Fisichella starts another lap. And almost immediately ends his race.
Yeah, I lost the hydraulic pressure in downshift, so I lost the control of the car and spun off.
A sight for sore eyes for McLaren. Bernoldi is in for his first and only stop. Free of the Brazilian, Coulthard is lapping some 5 seconds faster, while impatience slows his new foe. A bad line is even more costly for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. That's Jordan's second consecutive double retirement. Williams will soon gain that distinction as Ralf Schumacher is in trouble. Frank Williams realizes the game's up, but that hasn't occurred to his pit crew. It's not all doom and gloom for the Schumachers, as Michael takes his 4th win of the season. The German slows to take a formation finish with Barrichello. Ex-teammate Irvine earns Jaguar's first ever podium finish, to the relief of his boss Bobby Rahal. The British team still has a long way to go before they can threaten Ferrari, who claim their second 1-2 of the season. Schumacher's good friend Jean Alesi has claimed his and Prost's first point of the year. But you can't fit a donut in La Rascasse. Ahead of the ecstatic Frenchmen were David Coulthard and Jacques Villeneuve. Although it could have been much more, those 2 points could prove extremely valuable to the Scots Championship Challenge. In the meantime, Schumacher can let his Monaco victory sink in with the aid of a little champagne. Victory always tastes sweeter at Monaco. The crowd toast the new master of Monte Carlo. So what's his secret?
I don't know what is so special. I certainly love that circuit. I have always found it easier to find my setup, which is very important again here, to throw around the car through the corners. But you have to be lucky to some degree as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic to get a podium, and especially here, you know. To have 2 Ferraris and a Jaguar on the podium in Monaco's really what Formula 1's about in a way. We've got to see if we can consistently get up here, though. That's, you know, Monaco's a strange circuit, and we've been quick here all weekend. Let's hope we can carry that speed into Canada.
Now the teams head back across the Atlantic. As thousands of spectators flock to the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, 2 teams arrive still at odds. Ron Dennis and McLaren are still furious with Bernoldi over his refusal to let Coulthard by during the Monaco Grand Prix.
To qualify why I called him an idiot is because I felt that he was weaving on the track in a way that, as a group of drivers, we agreed you don't do. You know, there was a couple of occasions on the track, and only I can judge this, and only you can take my word for it, that I felt were outside the agreement that we have as drivers.
I was in a racing situation, and I just was concentrating to do my own speed. My own speed was much slower than David, but Monaco is a difficult circuit to overtake, and I was not there to be on television. I was just there to do my race and to do my job.
More controversy, this time concerning Adrian Newey. It looked as though Jaguar had secured his services for 2002, but that's hotly contested by McLaren.
Everybody in life changes their mind. It happens to all of us. He changed his mind.
However, that excuse doesn't wash with Jaguar boss Bobby Rahal.
Quote, "It does not matter how big a company is or whether it's an employer or an employee. When you enter into a contract agreement or an agreement that is effectively a contract, they should honor it unless the parties agree to end it or change it. Those are the only circumstances in which it's correct," unquote. That was Ron at the Austrian Grand Prix, and of course I agree wholeheartedly with Ron.
What has been presented to you has been misleading, has not been factual, and as things unfold, at the appropriate time, you'll come to appreciate that.
To me, somebody that signs a contract should honour it, and I've said before, I think it's high time that we did something along the lines of a contract recognition board to stop this situation happening in the first place. I mean, what's happened to me has happened, but it's now happened with Jaguar and McLaren. Who is it going to be tomorrow? Where is it going to stop?
For Heinz-Harald Frentzen, it all stops on Friday.
The car went at quite some speed into the back of the walls. The worst possible accident you can have, because it bangs your head backwards, not just a whiplash, but it gave him dizziness and he didn't feel he was fit enough to run the race, and we spoke to Sid and we've had to replace him with Ricardo Zonta.
It's quite difficult to come back, and it's worse than the first Grand Prix, you know, because the first Grand Prix you have more time to know, oh, this will be my first Grand Prix, and I had the notes last night, you know, I didn't have time to, oh, I'm gonna race, I just straight to qualifying.
Despite his lack of preparation, the Brazilian qualified a respectable 12th. Rubens Barrichello had more laps in the bag, but still fell foul of the infamous Wall of Champions. The replay shows that running over the curbs at the final corner will send you on a collision course. Barrichello's accident brought out the red flags. Nick Heidfeld became the next victim with only 1.5 minutes to go. Fortunately, like Barrichello, the German walked away. His compatriot avoided the danger zone as he challenged his brother for provisional pole position. In the dying moments of the session, David Coulthard was on a quick lap that looked like threatening Michael's pole time. At the very least, the Scot needed to be close to the world champion to stay in the hunt for the driver's title. A great lap, but not good enough to keep the Schumacher brothers off the front row. Schumacher turns his attention to the race on a track that demands respect.